Hey there, gamers. DreamcastGuy here, and today we're talking about Xbox versus PlayStation because Microsoft just announced that pretty much the last exclusive that currently exists for the Xbox is now coming to the PlayStation 5, and they're actually fixing it at the same time, which is Hellblade II, Senua Saga. Now, when this initially came out, I reviewed it. I played it on Game Pass, and to be honest, I was very much not impressed. The game's like 5 hours long, and most importantly, it was hard-locked at 30 FPS. It definitely didn't run good, it didn't look good, but I'm kind of fascinated because a lot of PlayStation people are cheering this on. A lot of PlayStation people seem to be interested because the first game was very popular on PlayStation 4, so it's interesting the second game is coming to PlayStation 5. But I also want to take a look at a lot of the reactions because it does seem like a lot of the people that I know that own an Xbox, they're kind of pissed about even investing in this generation. They hate the fact that they bothered to buy an Xbox Series X, even if they also bought a PlayStation 5. A lot of people are saying, why did I spend $500 on a system 5 years ago that at this point is literally useless? But let's talk. Hi, hope you're having a great day, and if you could please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Now, I just want to start the fact that this is real. I have to admit that I just woke up and it took me a couple seconds to even acknowledge the fact that this is reality, because it just seems like to me, it seems like we're seeing the last bits of Xbox die. I've been making videos now for many, many years, and I did a whole series of videos that pissed people off where I called it Xbox is dead. In fact, to be a troll, I kind of want to call this video Xbox is dead. But the reason I did that series is because it's been interesting to watch piece by piece the entire narrative, the entire messaging, the entire hype cycle around Xbox just getting peeled back bit by bit. And when I see stuff like this, Hellblade II Enhanced coming to PlayStation 5, I feel like this is acknowledging that it's going to be getting a 60 FPS patch on the Pro, meaning that if you are a console gamer and you want to play games in the best power possible, you have to get a PlayStation 5 Pro, or in this case, at least a PS5. I actually find it interesting that so many of the comments are like, buying all these studios feels pointless if they're putting all their games on the competitor platform anyways. Now, I find it interesting that only Microsoft did this. The companies that are being bought, for the most part, I guess Bungie was bought by PlayStation, and PlayStation is still having them put out stuff on Xbox. But this has been, for the most part, very much a one-way street. This is great. Will it get a physical? I will be playing it again. I know people will play on PS5 who are very happy they can finally play this. Now, my thing is the fact that this is not the biggest shock. Apparently, before Hellblade 2 even came out, there were actually some leaks that they wanted to do this very, very badly. Because apparently, even though, again, I really did not really care for this game very much, apparently Ninja Theory thought it was a masterpiece. They were super, super proud of it. They were happy that they were able to do such a big, grandiose, very picturesque game, even if they had such a tiny dev team. Apparently, internally, they wanted to put it on PS5 immediately, and the rumor is that Microsoft agreed. Microsoft actually wanted it to be on PS5 as fast as possible. They basically just took the time to port it. They basically said, okay, yeah, definitely put it on PlayStation. We want to make every dollar possible besides just the Game Pass profit. They basically said, okay, make sure it runs amazing on PS5. I do think that this just took a year. I don't think they had some sort of agreement. I do think it was just, hey, this is as quick as we can optimize it. Now, I want to take a look at a lot of different tweets here because it is wild to consider that when I think of the Xbox brand, I think of the typical trilogy: Halo, Gears, and Forza. But that's not always been the case. A lot of times, if you're talking player numbers, Sea of Thieves is one of the biggest Xbox games of all time, even though a lot of us don't consider it. But it is wild to think that all of these are officially on PS5 or coming to PS5. With all these games presumably, and the rest of the lineup soon to follow, can anyone give me a single reason to own an Xbox that isn't Game Pass? Truly feels like Xbox has just given up. Now, I have to admit that when I have made all those videos about Xbox is dead, I always thought that it would be a slow, miserable death as they just slowly became less and less relevant. I'll be honest, I never imagined that we would just see. It does kind of feel like Xbox just threw up their hands and said, fine, we'd rather sell you a game on PlayStation 5 than not sell you a game at all. Fine. You want to buy it? You want to buy it for $60? Sure. Now, when it comes to pricing, I do want to quickly say, Hellblade, I want all these games to be $50 and under. In this case, I'm not buying Hellblade Senua Saga unless it's like $20. If it's $20, I will honestly beat it again. I do kind of want to platinum it, but my thing is the fact that a lot of these times, these ports, especially when they're games that are years and years old, or in this case, like a remaster, I kind of want them to be around $40. That's just my personal preference, but it is interesting to me that I've seen a lot of people talking about the fact that it seems like Xbox's big push is to player numbers, is engagement metrics. And I think their investors, I have a theory that they don't even care about the upfront sales. It's not about, hey, we sold 10 million copies of Hellblade. I don't think it's that. Instead, I think it's more about the concept of, hey, we reached millions of players. Like, this is a thing. A lot of people are cheering this on. I did do a video talking about the fact that basically the sales numbers seem very, very low for Doom. It has less than 9,000 reviews, about 9,300 reviews on Steam and stuff. It does seem like Doom is underperforming somewhat, but to Xbox's own metrics, they're like, okay, 3 million played it. Even if it's, 90% of that is Game Pass people playing it on Game Pass Xbox or Game Pass PC, that's still 3 million players. It still looks good on our investor briefings. It still makes our stock go up. That's all that matters. So they know that it is doing its job. I think that when I look at this to me sounds like they're trying to do even more of that of, hey, how can we increase our engagement metrics? How can we make it so more people worldwide are playing an Xbox game, even if it's not on an Xbox? It is interesting that Hellblade, when it came out, a lot of Xbox fanboys, I know I'm trying to use that term last, but you know what I mean. People that are die-hard Team Green. They don't just love Xbox. They want Nintendo to die. They want freaking every PlayStation to be smashed in a landfill. They were making memes because they loved Hellblade. And I give them credit. That to them, that was a massive W. Again, not my cup of tea, but I think memes like this were interesting. Just get an Xbox. I saw this everywhere. People being like, oh, you want a game with photorealistic graphics and crazy facial animations? Just get an Xbox. I almost feel the most bad about those people because this has completely collapsed. The idea of Xbox getting any exclusive at this point, it's just temporary at best. Some of these memes, Phil Spencer coming out on stage being like, hey guys, we have our newest idea. It's just a PlayStation. Now, I wanted to take a look at one last thing here, which is that just the reactions to it. The fact that the entire industry just seems to be still in shock that we're in an era. That there really is no longer exclusives, at least from Xbox. PlayStation's still doing them. Nintendo's still doing them. Only one company has just said, screw it, we don't care. The era of Xbox exclusives is over. The first one was okay, so I'll give this one a play. So much for the PS5 could never run this. Oh yeah, that was a big narrative, is that people were trying to claim that the Xbox Series X is technically 5%, 8% more powerful than a PlayStation 5. And so when it was coming out, they were like, okay, if this can only run at 30 FPS on an Xbox, there's no shot it'll run a PS5. I guess clearly it still managed to run. I knew it. There's a good chance Starfield and Halo are next. If we see, I guess I should say, when we see Halo come, I do think that's going to be the last straw. There has been a lot of rumors that we're about to see a special Starfield upgraded special edition coming to PlayStation 5. I don't think it's going to sell particularly well, but I do think that some Bethesda fans will be real happy. But as it currently stands, I'm going to be brutally honest. I kind of find it pathetic. This whole thing feels a bit pathetic that The console wars are over. The generation isn't even wrapping up. But at this point, Xbox is never, ever, ever coming back. The singular next-gen console in a lot of ways, if you're looking for premium priced-out experiences, is the PS5 Pro. There is a term that Xbox really sort of championed, which is luxury gamers. You remember that Xbox originally started selling those $200 controllers? They started selling the Xbox Elite controller, and people were asking, why are you selling such expensive tech, hardware, peripherals? And they said, we think there is a premium gamer demographic. We think there are people that will pay top dollar for something that is better, that they will pay the higher price for the better product, right? It's funny to think that they're the people that really champion this concept of pay more, get more, right? And now, in a lot of ways, they're just stepping away. And now, incidentally, in a lot of ways, PlayStation has stepped up to fill that role. Now, PlayStation is the one selling you the PlayStation Portal, so you can play your PS5 on the couch when the TV is taken, or the PS5 Pro, which that $700 price tag, $700 for a console is still a lot of damn money. But it is weird that the console war ended with such a whimper, not a bang. But what do you think about this? How are you feeling? Hi, I have not had my breakfast yet, but I'm going to go eat a pile of bacon wrapped chicken, and it's going to be delicious. But I love you very much. Hope you're having a great day, and if you could please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and please keep dreaming.
Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.